Welcome back to Drafting Out Loud. Ready to get a couple slow draft picks in. The first one we got is on Underdog. We are in the third round in this draft. We did get Jahmyr Gibbs. We had to take Brock Bowers. I wanted to make sure I ran kind of what was going on for the day before I did my last pick here. Oh, here's one of the ones I'm in with Davis Maddock right here. You got Ashton Genty, James Cook to start. That looks pretty sweet over there. Hampton fell all the way to pick number 20. Interesting. Hall got pulled up to 19. Interesting as well. Hampton usually goes earlier, and Hall usually goes in the third round. And then I took Bowers here, so Gibbs, Bowers. And now we have one more pick left. I do have a lot of Gibbs. So the best available here is George Pickens. We did see that George Pickens was a faller on DraftKings, I want to say, right? If you're watching I don't think we talked about it, but yeah, he's a faller a little bit on DraftKings, half a round in the last 2 days, giving back the rise that he had before. As far as on Underdog, is he a faller on Underdog as well? Let's see. He is not a faller. Okay. So there you go. And then Gibbs is one of the players I have a good amount of. I was taking him first before just because, we thought that Gibbs was going to flip at some point in time. So I do have a good amount of Gibbs. I've been taking him at 1, 2, or 3 if he falls there. And you can see I do have a lot of George Pickens with him, 40% out of 5 teams. What does that mean? That means I have him 2 times out of the 5 teams right there. If I click on George Pickens to activate my combo catalyst here, I'm now synthesizing this for Jahmyr Gibbs and George Pickens. You can see that Bowers is not one of the players I have a lot of with these 2 players. Not that I have a lot of combinations, there's only 2 of them. And I don't see Bowers at all. So I think it kind of makes sense based on this to just go and take George Pickens. He is the best available by a couple picks, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. If Pickens starts to fall and Devontae Smith rises or Rashee Rice rises, we'll definitely get that combination later on. Maybe. I don't know if we'll be able to get that exact same combination actually, because I guess those players might rise ahead of Bowers. Hmm. So the question is, do we want to go and take like a Devonta Smith or a Rashee Rice or take a George Pickens is really the question. And that is a little bit of a question now because it's going to be tough to get Jahmyr Gibbs with any of those players. Maybe with Gibbs and Bowers, maybe. Let's see here. Let's go back over here. Let's go look at our underdog risers and let's look at our risers, see if there's anything else that we can take into account here. There's Baishal Tootin rising on underdog. So Josh Jacobs is rising here too, all the way up to pick 38. People are not scared anymore. Okay, so none of these players are rising on underdog. So it's a question of if we want to take Pickens or do we want to take something different? Hmm. I think it's between Pickens, Devonta Smith, and Rashee Rice is really what it's between. This is a tough one. We're gonna go back to this one. We're gonna go back to this one. Let's go look at our DraftKings drafts. This is the first one we're on the clock. No, let's go to the first one we're on the clock with here. Okay, first one we're on the clock with here. Based on ADP, Saquon Barkley's. It looks like we're in the second round of this one. Saquon, but we're on pick 16. Saquon Barkley's the best pick. I have not drafted, and this is not in the Leverage Lab, but if I go to some other documents that I have, don't think I've done much Justin Jefferson, which I have not. And I have no Justin Jefferson with Saquon Barkley, and I like Saquon Barkley. So we're just going to go and take Jefferson Barkley, best available. Something that's going to be a little tough to get, right? Because of uh, Jefferson does go around pick 9, and Barkley goes more here at like the 1-2 turn. You need people to pull some people up, at least just one person. I guess two people, right? Chase Brown, three people, Chase Brown, London, and HN for you to get Barkley. So that's a little unique. We'll be happy with that one right there. That was a simple one. Okay, next up, we got round number 7. Okay, we did see ourselves take Jaden Daniels, I think, yesterday in it. We got Love and Jacobs. So I think there's a couple picks in this one. I think we're gonna just let Pierce continue to fall, which means we got Hurts, Stevenson, Pollard, and maybe Warren as well. I know some people like Warren a lot. Um, I was looking at this earlier today. I've drafted Hurts a ton. I could draft him here if I wanted to, but I think if you're to look at the people that are smarter than me, what they're doing is they're at times bypassing Hurts here, seeing if like what's his face? Patrick Mahomes will fall back to 94. And if that happens, then you end up with a better a better position player here and a QB that you like just as much next about. Um and if you look at it from a not best available, but from like what will be available later on based on what you take now. If we go running back here, that means that, like these running backs are a lot better or more sure things than the running backs over here. So it's just a question of which one do you want, I think a little bit is part of it. Um, I don't think there's one that like I've drafted a ton of Pollard. I've drafted not a lot of Warren and like zero Stevenson on here. Let me see if I can see. So how much Warren have I drafted? I'm looking on my other device here, so we can just stay on the screen. Yeah, very little Warren, very little, no Stevenson, and then a ton of Pollard, a ton of Pollard. Okay, I think we could either go Stevenson, Pollard, or Warren here, and then bypass Hurts to try to do something else with that next pick. I'm just going to go based on ADP here. I think it takes Stevenson since I haven't drafted him at all. I know that there's 2 week 11s. Whatever. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll figure out the rest later on. We can get Rashad White hopefully later in the draft, and that'll kind of also be a player that can give me some points in week 11. Okay, we're just going to take Stevenson on this one to get a little bit different than all of our other drafts. I think. Let's do it. Stevenson it is. I hate passing up on Hurts though. I hate it. Okay, last DK one here that we got. I queued up Josh Jacobs and Javonte Williams. Neighbors is still available. Neighbors, is he still falling? I think he is. Neighbors is still falling. He's the 4th highest faller on the board right now. Does he fall all the way to the 5-6 turn though? He did fall from like here all the way to here. So he's already fallen like 24 picks. Can he fall another 24 picks is the question. And what does this say? Very hopeful that neighbors will be back soon. This is from the 10th, so from yesterday. So some positive buzz here. Now, okay. So these are like, I think, unless I think these are like your options here mainly. The thing is that um we did look on the draft on our risers that Tootin is rising. And so it's a little different. It's a slow draft. The chances of Tootin getting all the way to us at the 5-6 turn or maybe a little bit less than it would be if it was a fast draft. But I think what we want to do here, I don't know. I think we already got two running backs. I think the chances that Neighbors gets all the way to the 5-6 turn later on, so drops another 24 picks, is going to be a little tough, especially if he starts to get some positive buzz, which they had there. We're going to do a quick little check. Malik Neighbors, we're going to do a quick check, see if there's anything else going on with him in the past week. Giants GM 2 days ago said he thinks he'll be fine for week one. I think we're just going to take Malik Neighbors. We're going for upside here. We're not going to be scared. Getting Malik Neighbors here, if he does end up being a first round pick, essentially, gives us kind of maybe 3 first round picks, which would be kind of fun. I think, Williams I think Jacobs would be fun too. I think Williams is just a potential um, dead zone running back. Wilson, do they have the horses over there for him to kind of break out and be what Neighbors could be? We're just taking Neighbors. We're going for it, is what we're doing. Let's go Neighbors here. If he keeps on getting positive buzz, he's not going to make it 24 more picks later on. Okay, last but not least, what are we going to do here on this one? This, I think, is the toughest one, if you ask me. I think all three of these players are legit possibilities that make sense. Thing I don't like about Pickens, I'm gonna have to think about this one a little bit more. We're not gonna do the click right now. What I'm thinking is I don't want McBride because I'm just not that high on him. I've already taken enough around this point. Not a ton, but a little bit. I don't like that with Pickens, you can never get Dak. And right now, Hurts is so cheap that if I get Smith, I can easily get Jalen Hurts. But I don't need to get Smith because I could get Hurts and Lemon at the next round. I could take Rice and hope that Patrick Mahomes comes back, which is a possibility, especially if you're the one that takes Rashee Rice. If he doesn't come back, you can get a bring back with Bo Nix, 104, which is basically around just slightly ahead of ADP there too. So this one's a tough one here. Do I want Pickens or do I want something else? I got 4 hours to think about it. I know that's not what you want to hear, but we're going to think about this one a bit more. I do have a decent amount of Pickens already too. If we go and look at our combo catalyst tool here. Maybe I should rename that considering there is the combo catalyst inside. If we go to Pickens, I'm overweight on Pickens already. I do have one team with Pickens and Brock Bowers. Pickens does fall at times. This is an interesting one. Do I have both Atlanta QBs? Maybe not. Caleb Williams, Colston Loveland. Who are my QBs? Oh yeah, I do. Michael Penix and where is he? Tua. I got both Atlanta QBs. I think there was one where I didn't stack anyone from Atlanta. I just took the QBs. This might be the one. 0 Atlanta players. There you go. That is a draft right there, is what that is. I just don't like taking Dak, pick 79. I don't like taking him here at 73, but I don't have to. I think he should fall, in line here with these other QBs. I don't know why he's so much higher. Let's go look at his projected points. 303. Jackson Dart's 304. Brock Purdy's 297. Bo Nix is 299. Right? So his projected points are slightly higher. Slightly higher. I don't know. Okay. If you want to be the first one to put a comment in there, put a comment in and tell me which player I should pick, and I'll probably take him. Okay. See you on the next one. Peace.